You're ready for a comeback. And with Purdue Global, you can do more than take classes. You can take charge of your story, of your career, of your life. Earn a degree you can be proud of and get an education employers respect. It's time, your time, not just to go back to school, but to come back and move forward with Purdue Global, Purdue's online university for working adults. Start your comeback at purdueglobal.edu.
Ready to go the extra mile in a Volvo mild hybrid SUV this summer? No plug-in required. Whether you go to the mountains this summer, the ocean, or somewhere in between, Volvo mild hybrid technology adds to a more refined driving experience so you can summer safely. Contact your local retailer to learn more or visit volvocars.com.
Hello. From Wonder Media Network, I'm Jenny Kaplan, and this is Womanica. This month, we're pulling back the curtain to reveal women overlooked in their own lifetimes or in our historical accounts of the eras in which they lived. We're talking about the activists, thinkers, leaders, artists, and innovators history has forgotten. There's an old photo taken during the summer of 1937. In it, a young black woman in a swimsuit playfully leans against a seated Pablo Picasso. Nearly perched on his shoulder, there's a bright smile across her face. Who is this woman? How did she know Picasso? Today we're talking about the muse and model hidden in plain sight. Let's talk about Adrienne Fidelin. Adrienne was born on March 4th, 1915, in Guadeloupe, a group of islands in the Caribbean colonized by the French in the 17th century. Adrienne's life began tragically. When she was just a young teenager, her mother died in a hurricane that devastated the area. Not long after, her father died, leaving her an orphan. So in the early 1930s, Adrienne moved to Paris to live with other members of her family. In Paris, Adrienne joined a Guadaloupean dance company. As a dancer, Adrienne explored the nightclub scene in Paris, especially places that were infusing elements of the African diaspora into the clubs. These haunts were magnets for avant-garde artists of all stripes, and it's likely where Adrienne first met Man Ray. Man Ray was an American photographer and visual artist celebrated for his contributions to the Dada and Surrealist movements. When they met, Adrienne was only 19 and Man Ray was 44, but friends remarked that the two appeared inseparable. Adrienne was immediately taken in by Man Ray's circle of friends who were captivated by her beauty and competence. Her dark skin and Guadaloupean background fascinated them. Adrienne's perceived otherness was a resource from which this group of artists mined. They exoticized her body and culture for their own creative ends. Picasso painted a portrait of Adrienne in 1937, but she remained anonymous as the model for nearly 80 years. Adrienne appeared in hundreds of Man Ray's photographs, sometimes dancing, sometimes seated, sometimes holding props. Often she is nude or topless. Man Ray even took a photo of Adrienne that was published in Harper's Bazaar, making her the first black model to be featured in a leading U.S. fashion magazine. The photo captured Adrienne wearing a tiger tooth necklace, an ivory arm bracelet, and a Congolese headdress. She posed seductively, set apart from the other white models featured in the article. Adrienne's image is meant to portray a racist stereotype the article called the fashionable African native. Adrienne exemplifies the contradictory ways in which Black women's bodies were both glorified and othered in the modernist movement. She was a symbol of artistic freedom and progressivism, but also she was objectified through the male gaze and used to uphold racist stereotypes about Black people. Man Ray and Adrienne were ultimately torn apart during the Second World War. Man Ray was Jewish and returned to the United States at the start of Hitler's rise. Adrienne remained in Paris, where she worked to protect several of Man Ray's works and possessions during the war. Adrienne later married and moved out of Paris. She lived the rest of her life out of the public eye before passing away in 2004. Nearly 20 years after her death, she's beginning to be recognized for her influence. Adrienne was recently featured in a prominent museum exhibit about Black models in Paris, and historians are now working to bring back accounts of Black personalities who have long been lost to the narratives of modernism. All month, we've been talking about women behind the curtain. For more information, find us on Facebook and Instagram at Womanica Podcast. Special thanks to Liz Kaplan, my favorite sister and co-creator. Tune in tomorrow for a special bonus episode brought to you by Nurtec. Talk to you then.
No one likes to talk about money. Am I saving enough? Can I buy a house? Am I paying too much in taxes? Will I be able to retire? What if you could unlock insights about your finances in less than 5 minutes with a clear picture of where you stand today and where your money can work harder? Now you can. Visit Facet.com to take the free quiz and get your financial wellness score today. That's FACET.com. This ad is sponsored by Facet. Facet Wealth Incorporated is an SEC registered investment advisor. This is not an offer to buy or sell securities, nor is it investment, legal, or tax advice.
Now is the time to experience America's pastime in a whole new way. Major League Baseball has teamed up with T-Mobile for Business to advance the game with next-gen 5G solutions, going deeper with real-time data visualization, new camera angles that put fans on the field with their favorite players, and even testing an automated ball strike system in the minor leagues. This is the 5G era of baseball. See what we can do for your business at T-Mobile.com/now. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission. Officially licensed product of MLB Players Incorporated.
The single most unifying position held by Americans is an appreciation for those who protect our freedoms and families. You can help honor fallen or disabled U.S. service members and first responders by donating to Folds of Honor. We award scholarships to make sure the educational dreams of their sons, daughters, and spouses live on. We have a 4 out of 4-star ranking on Charity Navigator, so you can give with confidence at foldsofhonor.org. That's foldsofhonor.org.